Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And we got another hot one for you this week again. But before we get into all of that, Zoe's got some shout outs.
Hey yo, what up? Thank you for everybody who's been listening. We appreciate y'all following on this journey. Thank you for listening all across the world, everybody, the ones, loved ones, friends, unknown, all y'all. And special shout out to all those people who are happily married.
All right, so this week we're going to be talking about what is a good marriage. So strap in, let the Kings talk about it. All right, good people. Welcome back, man, to another edition of Kingly Conversations. And of course, as I am every single week, it's your boy Allen.
What up? It's your boy Twine, aka Twine. Let's get my podcast, man. Let's go.
It's your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill.
Calvin
listen,
D.
Listen. I thought this thing was muted.
Twas not. It has not been. Anytime it has not been muted. So during the music, we can hear you in there.
He
making
thought it
fish
was muted
faces.
because he wasn't crunching on cookies.
I tell you.
Funny.
I thought I was muted.
So if you hear anything weird in the intros, people,
That's me.
it's
I thought I was
definitely-
muted. I'm
no,
sitting here. I
not
had the
at
red
all.
light and everything. Why?
Not
Hold on.
at all. Now you muted.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right. So this, hey, who made
I
Calvin
did
created
this.
the note?
Calvin
So Calvin,
D.
you got it, Calvin.
All right. So the topic is, what is a good marriage? Now, before y'all just jump off over the edge, because all
Anybody
you
said
married,
nothing.
right?
Who's
So
getting mad? What are we doing?
no, I said before y'all jump over the edge, and just dive right in. The context was, or how this came about, was I was watching an interview with a bunch of women, and one of them asked, "Who taught you to be married, or what was your example of what a marriage is?" And she said she never saw a marriage because everybody in her family was single. All the women in her family was single.
All the
So
single ladies.
yeah. So she never saw the interaction between a man and a woman in a healthy marriage. So then she said, "Well, how can you tell somebody how to have a good marriage? You don't even know what a good marriage look like."
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, what is a good marriage? Because some of the examples we had before us really might not have been a good marriage. It just could have been two people that was in a house together, or and in today's society, it, like what defines, what creates, or what are the standards of a good marriage? Two people in the house just making it by. I mean, nobody fussing and fighting. Is that a good marriage? Or people fussing and fighting all the time? Is that a good marriage? I'm getting my head hit with a brick every other month or something.
I mean, hey, if you like bricks,
hey, I had a dude tell me, he was like, "Hey, Calvin, if my wife don't hit me in the head every now and again or threaten to kill me, I feel like she don't love me."
then he needs somebody that's going to abuse him. Then,
but that's
what he needs. He needs to find a partner that's going to abuse him, because that's the only way he's going to feel love.
You need that.
I do not. I do not need any forms of aggression at all.
He said any forms.
Not at all. Not at all. Because I'm not an aggressor either. So why would I go and intentionally look for something that I know I don't like?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily do that. Now I like people that's about their business, but that don't necessarily have to mean that you're violent towards me. This means you don't necessarily take any nonsense from people. But I like that because I'm also not. Anyway, we'll probably get to it when we go through all the things. But
All right, so
um,
before you get into all that, who is your example of a good marriage? Who do you feel like? All right, this couple models what a good marriage to me.
I mean, to me, that's a loaded question
It is.
because, um, and I when I saw it, I was thinking about it because there is no one marriage. There isn't. It might be this couple. We like the way that they do X, but for the most part, what we have is we have, and not really even on my, we have examples of longevity, but I wouldn't necessarily call those healthy marriages. We just have examples of longevity. Um, Especially because when you talk about a healthy marriage, it needs to be healthy for the people that are involved in it. And for the most part, most of the marriages that we see, it's like, no, I couldn't be married to that person. That's why I say it's tough to say an example of good marriage because we just got people that we know been married for 30, 40, 50 years. But it doesn't mean that if either one of us was in the same situation, we would have still been there
Right.
because people crazy out here.
Fonzo.
Um, your question was to make sure I'm clear. What did I use as an example for a good marriage, or what did I see that taught me what a good marriage was? It was a question, correct?
No. Well,
What was the
that's
question?
close enough. That's
No, no,
close enough.
no. So
But
just
who
let
is
me.
your example of a good marriage?
Nobody.
There it is.
Nobody. Because
Good.
everybody got their own issues. Everybody has their whole stuff that they show you, but don't know. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. It could be a facade, a mirage, if you will. And then for the people that I've actually seen, what well, that last part was for people that you see out and about, social media, TV, blah blah. But then you have the people that you know um, personally, and you know their relationships ain't shit. So uh, I would say nobody.
Yeah. I would say for me the a good example of marriage would be some all right in between. I would fall in between both of your answers because there are things I like about certain couples, like the way
No,
they
that's not.
navigate.
No. That's not the question.
Well, I would say my own then because I can't
Okay.
fit. I couldn't fit anybody's into
Well,
a perfect example. So that's why I said I couldn't model mine after somebody else's. But I
right.
like the way some people handle certain things in certain situations because mine fit for me. So I say your relationship or your marriage should fit for you and not to somebody else. It shouldn't be a perfect. Okay, this person, this couple, yes, they have a good marriage, like you said, for what we can see. You don't know what goes on behind closed door, but still, they set some good examples for you to follow. But that's you're not in the same situation. You don't have the same conditions. You don't have the same circumstances. So you don't fall into the same category of this is how my marriage should look. That's just me. So I like I said, I will fall in between. I like certain couples. I like the longevity. I like the way they handle conflict. I like this couple the way they talk to each other. I don't like XYZ. This is where I try to fall in. This is what I like about mine. This is how I like my marriage to look. So I would say mine because I have to live it. I got to be in this one. I don't have to worry about everybody else. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about everybody else's marriage. Guess what marriage I got to worry about?
Yours.
Mine. I ain't really stressed about everybody else's marriage because they got to
I
live it for
mean,
themselves.
that's true, and that's why I put the second thing down there. Like, do you really need to have an example?
But I do think you need to have a model somewhere. You got to have a base for something because if you don't, you really, it's like taking it from this level to the next level. You don't have nothing to go off of, so you need
I
something to
don't.
say. You need something to say. Okay, this is a marriage, but it might not be as good as I can make it or good as I want it to be. But at least this is a start point. This
Well,
gives
if
me a
that's the
ground
case,
zero.
So
then you can look at everybody's marriage and say, "Yep, they married."
Right? You can.
that's what I'm saying. Like if so, what I guess I'm just hearing it wrong. I understand the positive side of it, but you got to look on both sides. So you telling people to take bits and pieces from people who are in a marriage that they're not happy in. Is that what you're saying? Take that bit. Oh,
Take
you
notes
handle
of it.
bit.
Yeah, you better take notes of it. You better take notes of it and find out why they're
Yeah.
not happy in it. Because if that's why you're not happy in yours, okay, that might be a clue to me, something to tell me I don't want that in mind. This is something I don't want in mind, so I need to do what I need to do, so I don't have that same thing happen in mine.
Got
See
it.
what I'm saying?
That makes
You
sense now.
if you don't have a base or something to kind of go off of, how you know what a good marriage is? That's what most people are doing. Most people are just going, "Oh, we just got married. I love you." No, you lust them. We cool. We can get along. But then
Yeah,
when
no,
the
you
rubber
got
hit the
some out
road,
there. You got some out there that's genuinely in love because they've been around each
yeah,
other all their life. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't
genuine
want
in
to
love.
discredit.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
want to
discrediting
discredit
that
them.
either. But
Okay.
genuinely in love doesn't get you through the hard times.
Yes, it does.
Because that takes some no, it takes some different level of commitment to get through those times
Mm-mm.
when you really sometimes iffy, y'all don't love each other, but it's a hard road, so we got to get through these hard times.
Nope. Nope.
Hey, people say they want to say, I gotta
When
love you. Like, all right.
I think it depends on what those hard times are. I mean, you know,
I'm listening. Go ahead. My bad. What are you about to say, Alan?
no, I think it depends on what the hard times are.
Got it.
I mean, because even
Ooh, I got one.
even in our own marriage, there are things that I already know that if I were to do X, Y, or Z, that is going to be immediate grounds for
For
divorce.
dismissal.
Yes.
Dismiss.
So, like some because some people are okay, being in like a polyamorous situation. That ain't going down over here. Like you can do that over there,
But there's so many
but that ain't
benefits
going
to
down over here.
Oh my God. He said there's so many benefits to it. Jesus.
So yeah,
it.
but hey, listen. As long as all the dudes I know are okay being in a two dude one woman one, as the same way that they want a two woman one dude one, I'm cool with that.
Right.
As
Right.
long as you
As long
willing
as it go both
to,
ways,
as
like it
long as
work
you
both
willing,
ways.
hey, I'm an equal opportunity. As long as it's gonna go both ways,
Right.
hey, you
You do
be
you.
okay with it. If she
Yep.
say she want two dudes and you like, yep, because you said you wanted to be poly, okay, well we poly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Say we polying.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like you gotta,
well,
but every time I
traditionally,
see it, it's always, well, the man can have as many women as he want. Oh, okay.
that's because that's how it was back.
But
It
you also
was
gotta
like
be able
that
to take
back in
care
the
of all
day.
those women. But they also took care of all those women.
That is true.
All
They
right,
didn't
so
ask
I
all
got to
those women
follow
to
up.
go to work.
I got to follow
To
up
buy
since you made that statement because, like
buy some
you
land.
said there are conditions. There are conditions. Like these are the rule breakers.
Yeah, there
Is
are.
there a thing of unconditional love then?
No,
So
there is not.
there's always a condition.
There's always conditions, and people talk
Always
about
Okay, here we
there's
condition.
go.
always
Here we go.
conditions.
Here we
There's
go.
always conditions, and
Okay.
people talk about only animals and kids. No, there's always conditions because
Yes.
let that dog bite me. You gone, bruh. Gone.
Let you
So
say something about them
hold on,
kids.
because if it's not unconditional love, then love is not all you need in a marriage.
I never said it was.
Who said it was?
But that's what people say. People say all you
Well, they
need is love.
liars.
They liars. No, they're not. They all you
Lie. They're
all
not.
you
They're not
need is
knowingly lying. So see, the problem is, I think somebody told them that, and so they just saying the same thing somebody else told them,
You
which is
want
a
to know
problem.
why?
Essentially,
Because
parents.
they modeled after them.
They swallowed up.
oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
You
God.
said it like that. I could. That was the first thing that jumped into my
Oh my
mind.
God.
So,
Oh my God.
so that is true. I mean, well, they modeled it. That somebody said it. Because
Somebody
that's
told
just
them it was
like
okay.
Who
right.
models unconditional love? Because everybody again,
Nobody.
who model what
N
examples
O
can
B
you
O D
say
Y.
there was no condition into this love that we have, and
I
that
don't.
this
It
is the
doesn't. It doesn't
love
exist. It
that
doesn't exist. Some people say
how?
mother. Some people say mother and child, but that ain't the case. It certainly ain't the case all the time, and it certainly ain't the case most of the time. There are. eh, If you mistreat somebody long enough, they are not going to continue to love you
That's
unless they
But
got
correct.
Munchausen's.
but unconditional love
Unless they
is
got
the
what?
Munchausen's. It's a syndrome that people that are kidnapped have to where they actually end up, feeling affection toward the person that kidnapped them because they were held for so long. They
I
essentially
have heard
develop
that
a
before.
dependency for that
on that.
person.
Got it.
So
I've heard that.
so so if it's not love that keeps marriages together, then marriage ain't a marriage like people think it is. It's a contract.
Come on, bro. You know it's a contract. Why are you saying this?
No, it's not. It's about love. You have to love one another, Fonzo. You have to have unconditional
I think these arranged
love.
marriages tell you that you don't have to have love to even get married. They might develop love later, but you don't have to have love to even be married. That's a freedom we have in our society.
So y'all have some interesting points of views, gentlemen, to
I
think
don't know why they're
Man,
interesting.
I
They ain't
don't
interesting.
know. I don't know why you trying to do this, bro. You ain't scrolling nobody up today, cuz. What's going on? What's happening?
What is interesting points of view that people have?
that you don't all you need is love. You just
You
love
said
each
all you
other.
need is love. I
Love each other
never,
to make it work. That's all you need.
but you know
Unconditional
what?
love.
If you are going to say that love is a verb, then maybe.
Action.
Action. Okay.
Verb. What you doing?
Look.
What you
So
doing? How you treating people? How are
right,
you
right.
that all of those if you say because if you say
Mm-hmm.
that you love somebody, your actions should demonstrate that.
Right. So if their actions don't demonstrate that all the time, they don't love you.
Oh Lord. Talk
I
about
don't,
it,
I don't know
man.
that I'm willing to make
And
because
then
Yeah.
because I don't know that I'm willing to make that leap there, Calvin. But
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
look, because here's the
Because if
thing,
they don't,
because I make allowance for other people in their own marriages. Now
uh-huh.
I try, but I know that I'm a different person in that from at least as long as I can remember, I wanted to be married. So for me, marriage is different
Oh,
because
so
I
you
never
didn't.
didn't want to be married.
So,
There was never a time where I didn't want to be married.
but I thought that marriage was based on the other person, not the ideal of marriage, because you have to be in love with this person all the time to stay with this person all the time.
You need for
Shit.
me, for me, and I can only speak for me. You need to want to, even if you're upset, you still need to want to be with this person.
But are you
Like
still
you
love them
stuck
though?
with that person. What you mean?
You stuck. You love them. You love them. You stuck in
Nah,
love.
bro.
You love
You
and
ain't
stuck.
stuck. You
You
ain't never
stuck in the
stuck.
love.
You ain't
I'm
never
just
stuck.
saying,
You yes you
if
are.
you trying to adhere up to the contract as we said before, then you in there like somewhere. Where you going?
Contracts get
Where you
voided all
going?
the time.
No
I'm sorry.
sir. No sir.
Contracts
You
get
say
voided
what?
all the time.
All right, Kanye West.
No
That's
sir.
I'm
what we're
just saying,
doing.
if more than 50% of marriages end in divorce, contracts get voided all the time.
So why is that stat?
But
This
no,
is
no,
here you go. Here you go.
we're
Here you
talking
go.
about
Here you go.
good marriages though. We're not
Here
talking
you
about
go.
bad marriages.
But we
And
just
the
said we
and
ain't
the
seen none.
and the good marriage
I didn't say that.
you
Well, you
supposed
didn't
to
say that.
stay.
I don't know which ones you've
Longevity.
seen, but I may have a
Longevity.
different view on it. If it's just, is it just longevity?
What's
No,
the
no, I'm
standard?
saying, no, I'm saying, like, you're saying that the contract is voided, but then you void the longevity that you talk about. You said people that you have seen and known have, or some people, I don't know if you know these people or not, but they have been in marriages for a long time, but you don't necessarily know that they've been happy. So that to me, you're stuck. That's what I'm referring to. I guess that's an older generation of people talking. I mean, in
I
relationships
mean, here's
that
the
have
thing,
that concept versus now in this new generation.
and well, and I don't. I think that the only reason that is a because we're saying a new generation, but you know that stat has been around since the '80s. Like it hasn't really changed. 50% of marriage has been ended in divorce since the '80s, which means
I'm
our parents were
before the
those stats.
okay. I'm
Our
talking.
parents and
Well,
grandparents were those stats. They still
okay,
were
I
getting
got it.
divorced just because you didn't see it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it wasn't happening.
Oh, so they were
It
just
ain't, it
staying in
ain't
the
like in the
same
'20s
house.
divorce was, but also in the '30s, '40s, '50s, it was okay to beat the brakes off your spouse.
The
And
sad
they
part
would
That's
is
say,
not.
"Well, what did you say to her? What did you say to him, Betty? What did you say to him?
now at the same time with
We
He
that,
was
done with Trump
expecting to
talk.
stay."
why do
Make
we
America
have,
great again.
oh God, why do we have that 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 stat of 50%? Because if marriage, well, I think I just answered the own question, because if marriage is based off love and you don't love that person anymore, you free to go.
If marriage is based off, I mean, love might get the party going, but I can't even say that because in arranged marriages, love didn't get the party going.
At all
So
in
I
arranged
guess if
marriages.
you're in a marriage, all right, hopefully you're in a marriage where the two people love each other.
All right, so
But
how
I'm
long does
also, but I'm also I don't have an arranged marriage, so I wasn't going to get into a marriage where the two people didn't love each other already.
well, how long does a honeymoon phase last in a marriage? That lovey dovey, I just love you, I just want to be around you. How
I'll
long does
tell you
that
when it.
last?
I'll tell
How
you
long?
when it stops.
You say you tell me
Because
when it stops.
I'll tell you when it stops. Because at least for us, it ain't really stopped.
That must
There,
be
there,
nice.
there are literally zero people I want to spend more time with than my spouse. Literally zero.
Nice.
But
Okay.
I also got married at 32. Not and we also don't. There are a lot of how shall I say external stimuli that don't exist in our marriage as it is currently because we don't have children to debate over
Lord.
yet. We
Yeah,
don't we don't we don't have
you
that.
stupid.
Although we have spent plenty and enough time talking about it to already know what the other person's um,
Point of view is about
point of
raising a
view
kid.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we did anyway. We spent time because we were apart. One of us was in Texas, one of us was here. So we spent a ton of time talking through all of these. How do we want to raise kids? Do we even want to have kids? How do we? Where do we want to live? Is that the only place we want to live? What do we think about? Um, what do we think about religion? What do we want to do with our kids there? Do we want them to find it on their own, or do we want to force it down their throat? All of these were conversations that we had that most people just don't have because they in love.
And lust.
Mm.
But we knew that if we wanted something to work, we needed to know where the other person was.
So
And
you
we
would
needed to know if the other person changed their viewpoint at some point.
so
So we
you were
had these
deliberately
discussions and we
trying
still do.
to you were deliberately trying to
I
build a
well.
marriage.
Yes, because I
Huh.
always wanted to be married. So why would
Interesting.
I not deliberately? Why would we not put bricks on this thing instead of building it out of straw?
But that's an interesting concept because most people just jump in and keep going.
Hey man, when it
Calvin.
when it sounds like macaroni and cheese, you can't get out of it. You can't get away.
I know you're not talking about that pink cocaine,
Ah,
bro. You better stop.
woo!
That pink
You're
cocaine.
talking to the Rolex wearing, limousine riding, jet flying son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo! So yeah, we had all the we had a ton of conversations. That's why when we went to therapy, it was essentially just a review. That's all it was for us. It was like we
but
didn't talked about all this.
but Fonzo thing is that, would you say that pink thing,
Pink cocaine.
that pink cocaine? You
What
think that's
about it?
why? Do you think that's what what drives men to marriage?
Well,
Probably a good bit of them.
there's a probably a high percentage of that being the case, but then there's other things that can contribute to it. So I mean, who knows?
You say that.
That's
I
pink
mean,
cocaine, baby.
pink cookies in a plastic
Some
bag
some
I'm
getting
some
I
crushed
some
gotta
by
get
buildings.
okay. Well, I guess having what do you call it, a child out of wedlock? Is that what it's referred to when
yeah,
you
that's
have a
what it's
kid
called.
Yeah,
before
Yep.
the wedding?
Before you marry. Yep.
But
yeah.
that goes back to the pink cocaine. So maybe it is it.
But I did it. I had a kid before I was married.
But was it a pink cocaine?
It's always gonna be that.
Okay, cool. That's what I said.
Anybody,
That's why I
anybody
just
that
said it goes back
any,
to the original.
right, but to me, that doesn't make you. Well, it shouldn't. I say it shouldn't. It shouldn't be the leading cause or factor for marriage.
Well, it's not a leading factor, but it's probably a cause of
I
because you
think
got
that's a.
addicted to
I
the
think
pink
that's
cocaine.
a. I think that's a bonus to marriage. That should be one of the big. Yeah, that's a plus to marriage. That's another reason. That's like adding another.
Not if you don't know the person.
But that's why, to me, that should be the most important thing. Like knowing who you're getting involved with
Yeah. Okay.
and
I'm about to
building
say.
with that like you love and you feel like you could build a life with this person. And when I say build, I mean that deliberately. Like you're building something with that person
Mhm.
because you're trying to achieve this. To me, if you don't approach marriage that way, you kind of miss the point. You miss the point
Yeah.
of marriage. Like, why am I getting with that person? I don't want to be
Yeah.
involved with this person, this dusty person all my life. If
Well,
I want to be with,
I missed it a few times. I ain't gonna lie.
I,
I'm gonna just be honest.
he
I'm
said
gonna just
I
be
missed it a
honest.
couple times. No, if I gotta be involved with somebody, that one I have to see you every day. I
Hmm.
better like you. One, I better like you. We better be able to get along. And I'm not an argumentative person, so I can't argue with you 3-4 times a week. That ain't happening.
Right.
You got to be dismissed, and then you're gonna figure that out before I even consider wanting to marry you. But I knew that about mine
I guess
long before.
so. I guess you're not the type of person that likes to get hit across the head every now and
Oh
again.
no, and me and Andrew
Okay.
can't. We can't even fight.
Listen here.
Argue. We can't even argue right. We don't do that.
Listen here.
We gonna write. We gonna write
You
it out.
you got exactly one time.
They hit me in the head with a.
You're dead. Hmm.
No, you ain't gonna be dead. But you gotta get it. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You ain't gonna be
yeah,
dead. But I mean, the one time I feel like I am threatened with bodily harm,
yeah. You gotta go.
you got to be
You
somewhere else,
gotta
and
go.
you ain't got to
Oh wait.
actually
So it's I'm
do
about
bodily
to say.
harm to me.
I'm
I
You
about to
gotta
just
say.
go.
That
once
means
I
that
feel like you try, because now we combatants in the house, and that ain't okay.
They ain't gonna be it. I'm not built to combat a female.
Nope, not at all.
One. I'm not. So if
And
I
this is
feel
my
like
granddaddy house, so I ain't leaving.
if I ever feel like this gotta happen with a female, if I feel like this gotta happen, you dismissed automatically.
Now, sure,
Calvin.
if if I was, if everybody's asleep, you wake up from one of them dreams, and you, oh my god, and all right, that's not the same as somebody intentionally being that level of aggressive towards you. Those are two totally different things to me.
What you about to say,
Calvin,
though?
are you still in your honeymoon phase?
Nah, we way past honeymoon.
Okay.
And I see it this way because, like you said, it's a phase. I feel like, well, me, I only speak from mine. We go into like the cycles of love. We not always lovey dovey in each other's face all the time, but we are not always in that. We kind of agitated with each other either. Those are the cycles that we go through, but we still committed and love each other. That's the thing. People don't understand. Just because
Commitment
you,
and love each other. I like that.
yeah,
That's pretty good.
committed
Pretty dope.
because it's those days when you don't want to be bothered and you act like you want to be bothered with that person all the time. You lying to me. I don't want to be bothered. She don't want to be bothered with me all the time. Okay, go sit down. You go sit right there. You go sit in your office, and when you finish your attitude or I finish my attitude, we'll come back together. I ain't going nowhere.
And I don't even think you got to have an attitude to do that though. Like
Right,
that's
right. That's
you. I
just
mean,
you need your space. You to be you and do what you need to do. So it's not a that's not a thing to me. It's again that cycle of everybody's marriage is different, but to me
right.
the honeymoon phases come and go,
Well, then
and
what is a honeymoon phase? Like what is that
I
even to
don't
me?
know.
Because
I don't
maybe
know
I
what
answered
that
the
is.
wrong question.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
I
don't.
answered the wrong question.
Yeah, I don't know what people define as that honeymoon phase, but some is I guess is like you just want to listen to each other breathe on the phone.
Oh well, we won't
No.
never necessarily in that phase.
See,
Then,
I
if that's the case,
nah.
for everybody,
like we won't never there. Then okay.
everybody different. I don't know what people define their honeymoon stage. Like some people I just want to look at you. I just want to see you breathe. And I mean, some people like that. Some people love that overindulgent attention and all that stuff. But
I mean, there's many meanings of it, but the first one that came up, the honeymoon phase is a blissful, carefree period in a couple's relationship. Both partners are just getting to know each other and seem to find little fault with their significant other. Everything that new partner does,
yeah,
that's
okay,
pretty much it.
okay.
So that's pretty
Well,
much it.
I don't know. I don't have a how like a actual time. I don't. It might be longer for some than
My
others.
answer will be no. If it's anything like you just said, no. Uh,
How
it's
long does it
way
last, or are
past
you
that.
still in it?
Well, I only asked that because Alan said he was still in it.
Oh, I
but
mean, you said, am I still in it? I said, yeah. I said no. I said no because I don't. I would be a lie if I said I don't see some of the stuff that she do wrong. Like no,
But see, I don't see that. I don't see that as. I don't
a
see.
honeymoon. Me
See,
either.
I don't
That's the
see that as
definition.
honeymoon phase.
But
So
that's the definition.
Thank you.
like, then no. Then if that's the case, we was never in a honeymoon phase.
Right. So
That's
that's
Like
what
there
I'm saying.
wasn't one. Even on October 20th, there wasn't a honeymoon phase.
right. But
So
but their definition is like when you overlook everything. Like they can't do nothing wrong. They
oh no
Okay,
no no,
so
they ain't either one of us ever been on
also
that.
just to add on to that to get clarity, just I mean, there's like I said, there's many different things here, and one says the honeymoon phase will fade with time. It says honeymoon is a quick feeling of excitement, sexual arousement, nuance,
oh no, that's every day.
slightly
That don't
obsessive
count.
lust.
That don't count. Again, that's every day. My wife mess around and say something to me. She know I got a problem. She sit there and say, "Hey, Cal, Mike, what you talking to me sexy?"
Me?
Hey, who,
You
me?
talking to me?
You talking to me?
Wait a minute, are you breathing?
Did you blink?
I swear you blunked. Is that the sign?
I blunk. Ah, that's fantastic.
Hey, that's what. Hey, and you know, I'm
Okay.
I I couldn't use that definition either.
So then, with the definitions that we have, no is the answer. If that's the
Yeah,
Well,
case.
yeah.
some examples,
Because
but
it's
it's
especially
all
with, like
perspective.
yeah, it's all perspective. And like
It's
I'm
all
very attracted
perspective.
to my wife. I'm very I love her. I like that thing. So I don't
Pink cocaine, baby. Moving on.
know.
So you mentioned earlier about conditional love. Is with love, is it conditional in a marriage? Should it or should it not be?
Oh, should that not be done? That's the hard part. See,
It should be conditional. No,
that's
not for me. It should be conditional.
so okay. Here you go. So what are the conditions? Well, we gotta
Right.
do a part two. We gotta do a part two. That's time.
Oh, because it's
We got
34 minutes.
yeah
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and hit in, and we do a part two on this thing here. Then
Yeah, we'll be back. It's